United States of America,
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Next I have is approval of today's agenda.
Make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I will second that.
They moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes.
Lance would make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
And I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? There are 4/29/24.
They were posted.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of claims for payment.
Make a motion to approve the claims for payment for May 6th, 2024.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next I have is consideration to approve replacement for the Board of Health. At this point, we can table this. We have a resignation. It'll be on tomorrow morning's agenda.
Okay. I'd make a motion to table the approval of replacement for the Board of Health.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next is consideration to approve resolution 2024-13 bridge weight limit postings.
I will make a motion to approve
I'll second.
the.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion, Taylor?
Sure, I can at least go to the summary. Like, this is just your annual thing to make all the signs we put up legal. We have 2 new bridges, so those ones are coming off. 3 new postings, so that math doesn't work out how we want, you know, we lost 2, gained 3. And 4 that changed, so nothing too big, but that's kind of it.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
BJ,
Aye.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye, motion carries. Next is consideration approved community betterment grant application.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve Mona Bleeker's request for sign grant in the amount of $500 for Antiques by Mona located at 17552 B Avenue in or near Steamboat Rock.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next is consideration to approve the fiscal year 25 CICS advocate service agreement.
I will make a motion to approve the fiscal year 25 CICS Advocate Services Agreement.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is consideration of approved bid for outside auditor. We have a new auditing firm, or our old auditing firm is no longer gonna do it. We've sent out 16. Or,
15 RFPs
and this
in
is
January.
the only one that's come back.
Yes, and they had first said no, but call us if you don't find anybody else. So I'll reach back out to them.
And they will do a 1 to 3 year contract. Which one, if you do approve, which please state how many years?
Okay, so can we have a little discussion before I make a motion?
Yes.
Since this is really in the auditor's wheelhouse, what's your preference on time frame? This isn't a gotcha question.
Right.
I thought about this over the weekend and I had my idea, but go ahead. I prefer to hear what you'd like.
All of the responses we got back were because of staffing issues, so they couldn't take on any more. And I can't see that changing moving forward. A lot of the companies have older auditors, older CPAs, things like that, so I can only foresee that to get even worse. So I'm thinking possibly a 3-year. We've reached out, Michelle and I have reached out to, other places that have used them and they like them.
Okay.
I was reading their references and stuff, and so they work locally, but I also reached out to young CPA, and his suggestion was a 3-year, not and he didn't know this company, but like you said, the demographics of the accounting industry aren't getting any younger. And to get somebody on paper responsible for 3 years, let's just say that we do a 1 year. We won't even have the cumulative results from year one before year two starts. So having that continuity, I think, is just as important as, anything. Michelle, what do you think? I see you nodding here, and I want to take in your 2 cents too, if that's okay, Lance.
My opinion is that we need to get this done soon. And that I believe the 3-year would be to our benefit, to do a 1-year contract with auditing firm. This doesn't make sense to me, because you have to have some continuity with that firm. It's gonna take, quite a bit of time just to get through the first audit. Because we're gonna have to provide them probably 2 years worth of information to start with. And then before you're done, you're gonna be done with them already. So my opinion is the 3-year contract would be ideal. And I've heard nothing but good things about this firm.
Okay.
Reached out to several different people, getting different people's opinions, and I just think that this is gonna be a good fit for us.
Okay.
To go forward.
I had one other thing that I think needs to be brought up, the fact that we do have another option, and that's utilizing State Auditor Rob Sand's office. But evidently the backlog there is multiple years. So to get somebody started on this year's audit could be 3 years down the road. So it's an option, just a really, really bad option. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that that's available. The people's auditor can do that. It's just not time sensitive.
Right.
For us, so.
And my understanding is they have to take this.
Right.
We have no other option, and I think that is part of their backlog.
Mhm.
I'm glad we got an option.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
super
too.
happy that we have an option.
Mhm.
And granted, yes, it is, extremely more than what we've been paying. Obviously, we've been getting a wonderful deal
Yeah, we have.
with Bowman and Miller, who have provided great services to Hardin County. But we've got to get up to today's world.
Yeah.
And
But Bowman and Miller has been great to work with over
Yes.
the years, and it's done a great job. Just to make that clear too.
Yeah.
We're not changing because of
no,
any other reason than
They retired.
retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you know a young CPA that wants to buy a book, that would be your, encourage your son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter to become a county assessor or a CPA right now. So that's all I have, Lance.
And I agree wholeheartedly, the 3 years makes a
Yeah,
lot
I
more
do too.
sense.
Lance, with that being said, I'd make a motion to approve a 3-year contract with Clifton Larson Allen.
And I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Ask for a roll call vote, Lance.
Any other?
where are they located?
They have multiple offices. So the last, I believe they saw that even have an office in Grundy Center. They did at one point.
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is consideration to approve rent proposal for a new software program for case management. This is something that Daryl needs with his office, and it will be running, IT will take care of it from the beginning, from my understanding, and then Daryl's office keep up with the maintenance.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the written proposal for the new software program for case management.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion when they say Daryl, the county attorney?
Yeah. I do appreciate Daryl's ability to have a discussion with me individually to, explain what this is and what it isn't. The price is $40,950. So it is a a significant expense, but I believe that according to Daryl, will help with the efficiency and making sure we're meeting deadlines and not having some of the redundancy and some of the systems of going back and forth within the judicial system and e-filing and some of those things. So I think this is a step forward and also is a good tool for the people of Hardin County's attorney.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now I have is acknowledge receipt of sheriff's report of April.
Make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the sheriff's report for April 2024.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now I have a change of status.
Lance, I would make a motion to approve the change of status for Nicholas Stavropoulos in the Conservation Department effective April 29th, 2024, interpretive technician at the rate of $42,500 a year.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Another business, there were a few things that were on the agenda that when we reprinted the agenda, they went off. We will hold a meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. The agenda's posted. I believe there's gonna be a couple more reports on there and some utility permits, and I don't remember if anything else is on there. And
The resignation from the board.
yeah, resignation from Board of Health. Do you guys have any other business?
I have nothing.
I don't.
Public comments?
There is Pauline.
Pauline, come on up.
Morning, Pauline.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
I think, I can't remember who I talked to. I think it was you, Renee, about the men's door down here not being actually handicap accessible. Cause you have that hill and in a wheelchair, you can't actually hold the wheelchair with one hand and try and get the door open. So there needs to be like, one of those buttons that you push.
So there's an actuator that'll actually hold it open.
Yeah, that's all you would need.
Okay.
So I'd like to see that done because we spent another day here at court. And it seems like everyone seems to idolize the handicap accessible stall. So then Kenny had to come down here and that stall was utilized too. So, if you could
Yep.
put that on the agenda to get that done, that would greatly be appreciated. And then,
Do they have an automatic door opener up on the clerk of court's floor? Did you notice? Maybe been a-
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but that one's more level. but
Yeah.
he can,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
I think it's probably a wider door also.
yeah,
We had a stall issue up there at one time. They corrected that, right?
yeah, but it seems like, I don't know, when everybody.
It's roomier.
That's exactly.
It's going from
right.
single wide to double wide. Yeah, we can definitely have David look at that, Pauline.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many we're required to have, but I do
One.
know that, okay, because I do know upstairs is probably
That-
larger restroom and larger entry door.
Yep, so
Because
the
there are
one that,
regulations for that,
yeah, the one we're required to have is one in the building and that's on the top floor.
right? So
And
this
that-
one down here doesn't necessarily
It's
have
not
to comply.
required. But if it's something that's easily to fix, I doubt it will still make handicap accessible.
Right, because
And-
because
and,
of the slope.
Yeah, and the largest reason and we checked into that, why that slope was there is because all the plumbing's right under the floor and we would have had to redo all the plumbing in the courthouse in the basement to change the plumbing of that, because we don't like it either, that the slope goes up. But that's you deal with what you have in a building this old.
Maybe we need to put a sign down here, because I know there's multiple people that use this, but put a sign down here that the accessible, handicap accessible restroom is on the 3rd floor.
I think
So
the sign
people
needs to
know.
go on the first floor. So
Right, by the
you're-
elevator.
You're
maybe.
choosing your own
Yes.
adventure
Yes, good
before
idea.
it's too late for the adventure.
True, good idea.
What usually happens is, and what makes Kenny furious is whenever he waits, anybody that comes out of there is not handicap accessible. The
Right.
person walks out of that.
I suppose when the court's full or whatever, they're gonna use whatever they can to get in and out
Well-
quickly, but everybody just has to wait their turn.
I mean, we fall into this situation all the time, no matter where we go. Walking people use the handicap stalls, and
I've probably been guilty of it if it's the only one available.
well, it's not. The people just use them and don't think of the handicapped people. I think they use them because, like Taylor said, they're bigger. And then you can think of the other reason why they use them. Spend a little more time in there and, I don't know, but it's always that way.
So we can check with Dave to see if that button's easily, can be something done and
I
cost
think it
into it.
easily could be
But the
remedied
cost
by
that goes
just,
along with it.
you know, doing that button, just electrical thing. I don't think it would cost that much.
I don't know, I've never priced
I'll
one.
Are they-
follow up with
I don't
David
know,
on
are they,
it.
can
Yeah,
you get them
I don't-
battery operated? Because there wouldn't be electricity.
Right.
Well, you'd have to run it through the ceiling.
Yeah. No, I'll check with him, Pauline.
But it would be nice, cause I came down here with Kenny and I was the next one called and I said, well, you'll have to wait a minute. And the court was not too pleased about that. But if that could be.
Yeah.
And the other issue I have is with Taylor.
Go for it.
I called your office twice, Taylor, and you did not respond to my phone call. But the thing is you put nice white rock on 290th Street. And you had a road grader, I assume he was new. He was not new,
You go ahead and speak. I'll respond.
but we have no rock whatsoever on 290th Street. And I'd like to know why they decided to grade the ditches instead. And now we are down to the base. And this morning, there was, what do I want to call it? A regular, because the water all stayed on the road. So there was deep grooves about probably that far. I don't know how many inches. I'm bad with inches. But on the sides, and when I called, the good rock is like $20.60 a ton. I estimated that from the highway to the top of our road was probably 6 trucks. And that would come to almost, well, and he probably used a little bit more than 6, but we'll just say 6. That came to $1,977.60. So that's almost $2,000 down the sides in the ditches. Do we, as a county, have that kind of money to throw in our ditches?
I'll respond when you're done.
I'm just asking the county, cause now we are back. Our road looks like the flood, when we had the flood of 93. And it was nice all the time, like when you put the white rock before, it went down into the road like it should. This time, if you would have just graded a little bit here and there, and shoved it in the little ruts
Pauline.
filled in by the bridges, would have been fine. You've got to work with your road graders.
Okay.
I'll gladly respond, sure. So I didn't call you back because last week I'm doing 3 people's job all at once, so, you know, and same thing with our graders, we have 8 people doing 10 people's job at the moment. So, but what we did to her road is something regular, you let me know when is the correct time to do road maintenance on your road, it's never, right? Has to be done. Everything being done there is regular occurrence, all of that road, all that dirt will be put to the middle of the road so you can have a crown. If you don't have a crown, the water can't get off the road. It's all very routine. Yes, ditch gets, or rock gets put in the ditch all the time too. That's where all that dirt came from. That was drugged back from the ditch onto the road. Again, everything we do has a process. The process sucks, but That's all I'll say.
You make
No,
a crown with the
Pauline,
white
Pauline, your comment was over.
yep, and I get what she's saying. That's very expensive. If you wanna make a whole crown out of white rock, you find a big old pot of gold and I'll do it. But until then, we have to utilize dirt. And it sucks, but tell me how else to do it on a budget. Dirt's free, it's in the ditch. Just takes time. So, yeah,
So the other thing I've noticed is you've been running the reclaimer on a lot of the gravel
correct, and
roads.
that's what this was.
Okay.
Yep,
And that's been in a lot of my area as well. And I understand it. You gotta cut that crown out. If you don't cut the crown out, that water's gonna stay on the road and cut a channel down to the ditch.
correct.
It'll flow and cut a channel. That I also understand that when it's wet, it's gonna be muddy. I also,
Shocker.
and the largest thing I understand is that I do live on a gravel road. It's not a pavement. On the pavement roads, we still have problems with the shoulder dropping down and falling off that as well. Yes, I know crown needs to be built up. I understand all this, but what's the point of building a crown if your shoulders are higher than your,
Correct.
you had.
And that's,
and
and the
that's-
reclaimer does knock those down too.
And that's the point of the reclaimer. It grinds that out and
Gets
puts it
rid of the
in,
curly
and then
gutter.
as the grader operator moves it back and forth and builds his crown, sometimes they'll pile it to the middle. It's a pain in the butt. I fully understand that. But it's the only way you're gonna get that crown there because we're not gonna build it with rock.
And then you have too much crown and you get that complaint. You know, it's a never ending cycle. And some motor grader guys are better than others. We've had that discussion all the time. You know, and some guys don't wanna cut their shoulders and you have to yell at them to get it done, you know, so.
And
It's
it,
how it is. And her road, she's referring to is also, you know, you think about your road, it's 24 foot wide and the one she's talking about is probably another 10 foot wide. So it's even harder to keep your crown on that because our machines aren't that wide. So they gotta do 4 passes instead of 2.
and that
Yeah.
falls into the other complaint we get when we dig ditches and narrow the roads back up.
Correct, but
But that's
yeah,
the
means
width
that
of
they
the
get too
road.
wide. Correct. Yep.
And they widen from the impact of just driving over them and they just keep pushing down and as the graders keep moving back and forth.
The most complaints I get in my office is because we actually went out and did work. And it's frustrating because it's like, would you prefer we did nothing? Or do you want us to go out and make your roads better?
And the other struggle I get are the complaints about how much rock is in the ditch from this winter.
That, I mean. you
We
look at
didn't,
your
we
own
didn't
driveway
have,
and
we
all.
didn't have the moisture to pound that rock into the ground.
Correct, I mean, the ground was not frozen that first snow.
And that rock
Like
stayed
that.
loose all summer
Yeah,
or
my
all
own front
fall.
yard full of rock, yeah, what can you do?
No, so I get all that.
Don't move the snow.
It's a thought, and we don't on gravel roads until we have to.
I know.
Yeah, that was what we get.
It's
about
just a
8 inches,
never-ending
yeah.
story.
Yeah, and that's why when we have a 1 inch snow or less, those, we don't go on the gravels, not
So-
even a question.
So are the grader operators doing as they are directed?
Yes,
Okay,
especially the one that did hers. He's one of my better ones. I trust him 100%.
so at the end of the day, it's not training the grader operators to do a better job.
Correct.
It could be training the public as to what we're doing.
And that was his first time on the reclaimer and we all thought he did pretty good. Yep,
But yeah, maintenance is maintenance. You gotta do it. It does suck.
Might not like it, but
correct.
Polly,
Excuse me, my husband has been a road grader operator with Martin Marietta, doing roads. He also worked for the county. And he knows what he's doing. And look at Grundy County. They grade their roads and you can make, what do you call it? I've lost the word. Crown. And you can do it with the rock, not the way you are doing it.
I'm not gonna get in the argument
No.
over this.
That's finances. We're not gonna go into finances.
right,
We're doing
Grundy
it-
County's got boo
We're doing
bucks.
it the wrong way.
We're doing it with the tools we have.
Yes, but.
That's what you have.
Grundy County, they're doing it with the road graders that they have. But you keep your rock there and then you can go, when you go back, you can, you grade so your water runs past the road.
And that's what their claimer does.
Yes, but not the way right now, go look at 290th Street. You've got it piled so high. It's probably about 6 inches high of dirt on the sides of the road.
You do not
Where's
currently
the
have a
water
full-time
going
motor grader.
out?
That is the only reason it hasn't been done yet. We're short-staffed at the moment. That's,
So why'd you
The way it
put
isn't
the
gonna
rock
be.
on if you shoved it in the ditch? You wasted $2,000 just from the highway up to our place.
Taylor, what's a ton of rock cost?
it cost me.
It costs
or Mark-
$20 and.
Taylor,
Not
what-
even-
Pauline, stop, please.
I'm done
The
responding to her.
the question was,
And I
the
won't
question
respond.
was to Taylor.
Yep.
What's a ton of,
From Alden, I pay, it's 11.55 of both for me. Yep.
we do not pay $20 a ton. That was your price. That's the end of public comments I have.
Mhm.
I'm asked for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. All right, I got 9 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting order, start with pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just for the record, Renee is joining us by phone this morning. So
All right, ask for approval of today's agenda.
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is consideration to approve utility permit interstate power and light UT 24005.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve UT 24005 and 24011 together.
I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Were they both aligned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is consideration to approve the resignation of Miley Carter for the Board of Health.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve the resignation of Miley Carter from the Board of Health.
And I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
We are in the process of recruiting, and if anybody has anybody that'd be interested, please contact the board secretary.
Actually, we do have someone, so that will probably go on next.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Thank you, Renee.
Uh-huh.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next is acknowledge receipt of auditor's report of April.
Lance, I make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the auditor's report for the month of April.
And I will second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is acknowledge receipt of recorder's report.
I'd make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the recorder's report for the month of April.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have no change of statuses. Any other business?
Roads are soft.
It rained.
I'll bet.
Hearing no public comments, correct? No. I can ask for adjournment.
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're adjourned.